I'm Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News, and the big move came Tuesday morning from the Buffalo Sabres. Don Granato is out as head coach. Terry Pegula decided to eat that contract extension, even though we wondered if that was going to be the case. Granato simply didn't get this team to the playoffs, didn't end that horrible 13-year playoff drought. Too many bad first periods, too many bad power plays. We've seen it all. We know the reasons. And ultimately, coaches run the risk in this league of being the scapegoat for everything that ails their franchise. Granato had already been up to number 6 in the league in the seniority list among coaches. For a guy who hadn't made the playoffs and just got the job in 2021, that's pretty incredible to ponder. But things never got off to the right start with this team this season. You look at it, they played at a 93-point pace from January 1st to the end of the year. They played at a 97-point pace from February 19th after that terrible home loss to Anaheim to the end of the season, the final 27 games. October, November, December, 73-point pace. And that really is Granato's undoing. This team just simply didn't have it at the start of the year. I've always felt training camp was a little too laissez-faire for my liking. Too much about prospects, too much of players, coaches, even the GM feeling this franchise had arrived in the wake of last year's 91-point campaign. And really, they hadn't accomplished anything. They hadn't even made the postseason yet. There was a lot of celebration going on for a team that finished well, but ultimately missed the playoffs. Right now, you look at it, they're in a real transition period. They continue to foist upon us the thought that this is the youngest team in the NHL, and it is by age. But when you have guys like Dahlin, Cousins, Tuck, Thompson, you can go through the list. A lot of these guys have played several hundred games in the NHL. They're not young in experience at all. So Kevin Adams scheduled to speak to the media Tuesday, the players on Wednesday and Thursday. You know, the players have only themselves to blame. They loved Don Granato as much as they did. They sure had a funny way of showing it at times. Just too many no-shows. And I've been pretty adamant about this point that this is the players' fault. The players were most responsible for what happened in this club. The coach pays the price, but the players simply didn't get the job done. They weren't ready to play enough of the time. I know a lot of you want the rah-rah speeches. Oh, let's go get them, guys. Well, you know, look at the second Detroit game. Did Granato have the team ready? Sure. Look at that first shift from the Thompson line. Great shift. And then what happened? Bad pass by Quinn. Luukkonen didn't make a save. That guy's played great the second half, too. Second goal, another bad pass by Quinn. Jokiharju and Byram don't take Patrick Kane, and you know what happened the rest of that game. A difficult afternoon that was in Detroit. Those two games really cost Granato any chance of making the playoffs and keeping his job. And you know all the other games, the Anaheim disasters, the 9-4 thing with Columbus, that 5-0 first period against Ottawa. All of them go into the final analysis here of Terry Pegula and Kevin Adams, and that's what you have. Who's next? You have to read my column in the Buffalo News, but I know a lot of you want Lindy Ruff. I might have a different opinion there. A veteran coach, we'll see. Certainly Seth Appert of the Rochester Amerks is a name you have to watch closely, especially if they go deep in the playoffs again this year. He is very highly regarded in the Sabres organization. So here we are again, another coach search. What is this, 6, 7 since Lindy Ruff was fired in 2013? We're pretty used to this one. We'll see how things transpire here, the players talking on Wednesday. This is Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News reporting.